When people look at the life of Morgan Freeman, they often see only success, fame, and an effortless rise to greatness. Yet beneath the surface lies a story shaped by hardship, endurance, and quiet determination. His journey is not simply about becoming a Hollywood legend, but about surviving decades of struggle before recognition arrived. This account explores the lesser-known path behind his calm voice and iconic presence. It reveals emotional weight, societal barriers, and personal sacrifices that defined his life. Before awards and admiration, there was silence, rejection, and resilience that forged a remarkable career over time and years slowly. Early life in Mississippi. Born in 1937 in Mississippi, his early years were marked by poverty, racial segregation, and constant movement in search of stability. His family shifted between states and homes, often relying on relatives and temporary shelters. These experiences taught him resilience at a young age, as well as the importance of observing the world quietly. Life offered few comforts, and opportunities were scarce for a black child in the segregated South. Yet within these limitations, he developed a deep awareness of human behavior, learning to watch, listen, and understand people skills that would later become essential to his acting craft. There, childhood observation and instability. Frequent relocation and uncertainty shaped his childhood, forcing him to become an attentive observer of life around him. Instead of stability, he found lessons in change. Every new environment brought different faces, voices, and struggles, which he quietly absorbed. This habit of observation became a refuge, allowing him to make sense of a world that often felt unpredictable. Though difficult, these experiences nurtured imagination and emotional intelligence. He learned to interpret gestures, tone, and silence, understanding that meaning often existed beyond words. These formative years laid the groundwork for a future in storytelling, even if that future seemed unimaginable at time. Segregation and racial reality. Growing up in the segregated American South, he experienced racism as a daily reality rather than an abstract concept. Boundaries were enforced by law and custom limiting where he could go learn and work. These restrictions shaped his understanding of inequality and human dignity at an early age. Instead of breaking him, these challenges strengthened his resolve and sharpened his awareness of injustice. He learned that talent alone was often not enough to guarantee opportunity. This awareness would remain with him throughout his life, influencing his perspective and the emotional depth he later brought to his performances on screen. Stage. First steps into acting. His first encounter with acting came during school performances, where a small stage offered him an unexpected sense of escape. Stepping into different characters allowed him to experience emotions and identities beyond his everyday reality. For the first time, he felt the liberating power of storytelling. Even though the platform was modest, the impact was profound. It revealed a passion that would quietly grow within him over time. Acting became more than a hobby. It became a way of understanding himself and the world. Despite limited encouragement, he held onto this discovery as a glimpse of something greater ahead. There. Service in the Air Force. As adulthood approached, he enlisted in the Air Force, seeking structure and direction in a world that felt uncertain. Military life provided discipline and responsibility, but it also revealed a disconnect between duty and desire. While he performed his responsibilities well, he gradually realized that his true calling lay elsewhere. The uniform represented stability, yet it did not fulfill his creative spirit. Over time, the dream he had tried to suppress resurfaced with greater strength. Eventually, he made the difficult decision to leave military service, choosing uncertainty over comfort in pursuit of a path that felt authentically his own. There. Return to acting and early struggles. After leaving the military, he returned to civilian life with renewed determination to pursue acting. However, the entertainment industry was far from welcoming. He faced financial instability, limited opportunities, and constant rejection. Small theater roles and minor performances became his primary means of survival. He often lived modestly, balancing passion with the need to pay basic expenses. Despite the difficulties, he continued to refine his craft, believing that persistence would eventually lead to recognition. Each setback tested his resolve, yet also strengthened it. His journey during this period was defined by endurance, patience, and an unwavering belief in his purpose. Hollywood rejections and persistence. In Hollywood, rejection became a constant companion. Casting directors often overlooked him, unable to see beyond narrow expectations of leading roles. He was frequently typecast or dismissed, entirely regardless of his talent or experience. The industry's limited vision made progress slow and frustrating, yet he refused to abandon his ambitions. Instead, each rejection became motivation to improve and continue. He understood that recognition in such a competitive field required patience beyond measure. Though success seemed distant, he remained committed to his craft, trusting that consistent effort would eventually break through the barriers that kept him from wider acknowledgement. Thereon, gradual rise and recognition. Over time, his persistence began to yield results. Small television roles and stage performances gradually brought him attention. Audiences started to recognize his depth and unique presence even in supporting characters. His performances carried emotional weight that set him apart from others, rather than an overnight breakthrough. His success came slowly and steadily. Each role added another layer to his reputation as a serious and skilled actor. Theater in particular became a space where his talent could fully shine. The industry, once dismissive, began to take notice of the undeniable strength he brought to every performance, in growing respect, now late recognition and legacy. As years passed, recognition finally caught up with his talent. Major roles, acclaimed performances, and widespread admiration established him as one of the most respected actors of his generation. Yet success did not erase the struggles that preceded it. Instead, it highlighted the contrast between early rejection and eventual acclaim. He became known not only for his voice and presence, but also for the depth of experience he brought to every role. His career stood as proof that persistence can outlast doubt and that greatness often emerges long after the world is ready to acknowledge it. Even now, always there. Conclusion and legacy. Reflection. The story of his life is not defined solely by fame or awards, but by endurance through decades of uncertainty and struggle. From a childhood shaped by segregation and poverty to a career built through persistence, his journey reflects resilience at every stage. He transformed rejection into motivation and silence into expression. Today, he stands as a symbol of patience, discipline, and artistic excellence. His legacy reminds the world that greatness is often forged in obscurity long before it is recognized. Beyond Hollywood success, his life represents the power of determination to overcome even the longest and most difficult path.